do you say we leave tonight? We could leave it all behind. We're 22, wasting time. No, the silence ain't so kind. Hate being left alone. It reminds me no one's home. Rain is dancing on the roof with these sober thoughts of you. Lovers talk late at night, doing drugs, ease my mind. I'm not alright. You were there, now you're gone. Never thought you were wrong. We don't have much time. And they said, oh no, don't go. I've been here before. She said, boy, won't you think twice? You can't do no more. But I know how the story's told. Bottled up in my fear. And they said it's fool's gold, it's got a hold. I'm dying here. Lovers talk late at night, doing drugs, ease my mind. I'm not alright. You were there, now you're gone. Never thought you were wrong. We don't have much time.
All right, what is up, YouTube? Welcome to the video. Just woke up, figured I'd do a full day vlog because I haven't done a full day of eating in quite some time. Been a couple weeks, probably about a month or so. Mostly been doing just full workout vlogs, which I know can get boring and repetitive. So we'll change it up. We'll give you a little full day of eating. Let's do a little full day vlog because it should be a fun day. Fun day in my mind because I get to work out twice a day. Eat some good foods along the way. Breakfast, as you saw, it's 4 scrambled eggs. It's about 3.5 ounces of that turkey, and then 110 grams of that sourdough bread. And then as you saw, that little special pizzazz I added at the end, a little honey on top, is an absolute game changer. This is my favorite meal of the day. I love breakfast. If you watch any of my videos, you know how much I freaking obsess over breakfast. But always, it's slightly changed over the last year, but it's always remained the same with the eggs, the sourdough, and the turkey. I used to do 5 eggs, and I went to 3 eggs, now I'm back to 4. I used to have cheese in there. I used to have onions and peppers and spinach. Kind of gotten boring now, but the honey has been the secret stuff. And then one of the game changers is having that replenish in the morning. I always wake up, super groggy and like tired, and like my head kind of hurts a little bit because I'm so dehydrated from not, obviously being asleep and not drinking water for like 9 hours. You have a scoop of that sucker. Tastes good and it gets you feeling good, and then you have your caffeine after it. 1-2 punch there. So eat this up, probably do work for a little bit, and then head to the gym, hit some legs. We got a double leg day today. Got some other fun stuff. So yeah, let's get this day rolling, baby. All right. Just got to the gym. Gonna bust out the whiteboard real quick. So I explained in my last video, I won't go super in depth because if you're interested, it was an earlier video this week, but I'm doing a double leg day now. So I'm essentially doing all the strength and power work in the morning, then coming back about 4 or 5 hours later and hitting all my hypertrophy work. So today's morning session, we got seated broad jumps, 12 reps, just, progressively build up the distance. Try to jump as far as possible. Then we're gonna get clean pulls for kind of our power work. Clean and no catch with it, going about 90% of my clean max. And then we're gonna deadlift. We're gonna do wave loading again today. Been doing wave loading on all my main lifts, my squat, bench, deadlift, overhead press, and pull up. So we'll go 6 sets there, progressively build up in weight. And percentage wise, I'm kind of using percentage as a general guide. Kind of what I use in my squat and bench would be like 77% for 7, 82% for 5, 86 for 3. And then we'll go 80% for 7, 84% for 5, 89% for 3. So I'll probably hit a voiceover on this, keep it shorter, but let's get ripping. All right, we'll get into this lift. So my upper body was so sore. So something I've been doing recently, grabbing a really thick band, and you go 3 positions. You go that lat stretch, and then you kind of turn to the outside. This one is awesome. I hold 20 seconds of the first one, 20 seconds of that, and then to open up the chest, I'll go 20 seconds of that. Really opens up the chest. 20, 20, 20, I'll go both sides. If you got a really tight upper body, that's a great one to do if you're super sore or if your shoulders just aren't loose. So did that, and then I did my usual lower body warm up, which is always 15 TKEs with a heavy band on each leg, 15 lateral walks each way, really open up the glutes and the hamstrings, the lower body, and then 10 of these hamstring squats is what I call them. Pretty sure there's another name for them, but that's what we're rolling with. Really
stretching the hamstrings, dropping down that squat. You can also add a little rotation in there to really crack the back if you're nice and tight, and I'll roll through that twice. So the usual warm-up, absolutely love it. I then started with my main power work. So seated broad jumps was the main thing on the menu. I've only done these once before, and I absolutely love them, and I was like, I need to throw them back in because they're very fun to do. So you're just going from a seated position. The box is there to kind of remind you to jump higher as opposed to just like far, so it kind of forces you to jump a little higher. You can also call these seated Blaine jumps. Got these from Blaine McConnell, who is probably jumping like 4 feet farther than me, which is crazy to watch, but that's where I got them from. Great jump variation. I ended up doing 15 total reps here. Felt really, really springy, which was good. I just slowly backed the bench up like an inch each jump. So towards the end, I was probably like a foot farther than when I started. So fun variation to do. And then I got into my Olympic lift variation. So I'm doing clean pulls. I haven't done clean pulls in forever. I usually just do regular cleans. But on my first day, I'm doing a block power clean. On the second day, I wanted to do some Olympic lift variation to kind of get me ready for the deadlifts. And I was like, let's throw in some clean pulls and start using like 90 to 110% on my clean max. So really working on that first pull because my deadlift is by far my worst movement. I'm so weak on deadlifts. As you can see, the energy leaks, my hips are shooting up. I don't have the best form, but I'm excited to progress it because I know it can only get better over the next couple weeks as I train it week by week. So ended up doing that wave load, and as I talked about 753, got up on the last set. I think I hit 495 for 3, which was pretty decent, but as you can see, hips shooting up. I'm excited to actually address it and get better with it. So the power work and the strength work, that was the morning session. Felt pretty good. All right, switching the iPhone. As you saw, I just went to Whole Foods after that training session. First off, deadlifts were awesome. Felt really good. I'm really excited to split these leg days up into 2 because mentally, like, finishing those deadlifts, and usually it's like, okay, we're just getting started. Now I got a squat, Bulgarian split squat. And like that mental thing, kind of you lose a little bit of that edge, but knowing it was like, no, I don't have to do that now. I don't have to do that for another 5 hours. So don't even worry about it now because that's Dylan's problem in 5 hours, and by then he'll be refueled. So how are we feeling? Post-workout, as you saw, I went to the Whole Foods. This is the best time to go to Whole Foods. If you got a close one by you, their like fall menu is impeccable because they got this butternut squash with cranberries and onions. I love butternut squash. So have like almost 2 servings of that. I have 170 grams of the rice and then about 7.8 ounces of salmon. It comes up to like 50 grams protein, like 100 carbs, 20 fats, like 750-ish calories, which good macros for it. Also, make sure I'm drinking water, but I'll eat this. It's 120 by now because I ended up talking at the gym for a little bit. After, goal is to get back to the gym. I finished training around, was that like 12:10? So I want to take at least 4 hours in between. So I'll probably get back there around 4, start training around like 4:30 because the second part of the workout should only take hour 15. That first part took about an hour 15. So yeah, eat this up. I'll probably have another meal also, as you see in between, but we'll get into some whiteboard stuff because I know you guys like the whiteboard. So I'm gonna break down my train split real quick. All right, boys, I'm in a weird part of my apartment because I forgot my tripod in the car, so I got the set on the countertop. Also, let's see how this looks. I'm just gonna be chilling behind this whiteboard. Hopefully you can see it. It looks like you can from my reflection, but I'll keep this short. But I do know one thing. Whenever I do a video on the whiteboard, it always gets great views. I've done like 3 in the past like year. That's good to know. I love talking about training splits. So if you watched that video, I broke down my training split, my 8-day training split on there. And that's what I was kind of doing for the past like 2 months, or like 6 to 8 weeks. Now, it seems like I'm changing my training split again. I'm not really, I'm just going literally back to what I've always done. Like the split's still remain the same. It's still legs, chest, back, shoulders, arms, legs, push, pull. I was just doing an 8-day split for a little bit of time where I was doing legs, chest, back, shoulders, arms rest, legs push, pull rest. I'm just going back now, taking out that middle rest day and go back to a 7-day split or a weekly split of Monday through Sunday, because I love knowing on Mondays I'm hitting legs, Thursday I'm hitting legs, Friday I'm hitting push. You know, I like knowing that. I love the 8-day split. I think it was awesome. I think it's a great split for people to run because of the extra rest, which I think is super important. And I'm not saying rest isn't, but I think now I just like having that 7-day structure. So anyways, that's what I'll go back to that. But just want to break down it real quick on the whiteboard. Nothing really crazy. So to run through the split, 7-day split, we're going legs on Monday, double leg day. So we're doing the lower body power and strength work in the morning, and then hypertrophy work in the afternoon. Tuesdays, we are going chest and back. Chest and back supersets actually. Just had a video on that, so if you watch that, that's kind of what it's looking like where I'm supersetting it. And then coming back doing cardio in the afternoon. Wednesday, shoulders and arms, cardio in the afternoon. Thursday, which is today, power, legs, and strength in the morning, hypertrophy in the afternoon. And then Friday will be a pull day. Saturday will be a push day, and I'll also be doing cardio on those days in the afternoon. You're probably wondering why you're going pull then push. Why do most people go push then pull? You know, you can make it however you want. No, really, that's like, I don't know, for some reason I like the idea of doing a pull on a Friday and push on a Saturday. Makes sense to me. And I feel like my back's more recovered than my chest. My chest is still kind of sore from that chest and back day, so figured spread them out a little more. So that's the split, 6-day split, Sunday's a rest day. But kind of what I want to go over real quick is like 3 things I get asked a lot, like the rep schemes I'm doing, and then cardio I'm doing. So rep schemes I'm doing, as I mentioned before, I'm doing that wave loading. So 753, 753. Wave loading is great for strength and size because you're getting some of those heavier sets, those heavier triples, doubles that are neurologically demanding, as well as some of those higher rep 5s, 4s, 6s, 7s that are good for building muscle. So doing that for weeks 1 and 2, and I'm doing that on my bench press or my back squat on Monday, my bench press and pull up on Tuesday, my overhead press on Wednesday, and then my deadlift on Thursday. Friday, Saturday are just gonna be like strictly bodybuilding days with not any like high or big compound movements. I wanted to prioritize those movements, the classic squat, bench, deadlift, and then also throw an overhead press in there as well as a pull up, just cause. And then weeks 3 and 4, I'll go to a 642, 642 wave. So same concept, going down reps up in weight and then go heavier on the second wave. And then each week I'm trying to go heavier and heavier than I was the previous week. I use percentages for the first week to kind of guide me, but I think I'm just gonna add 5 to 10 pounds and then just try to be a little heavier on each wave. That's how I'm kind of progressing it. Week 5 and 6, I think I'm gonna do a 532, 532, at least for week 5 and week 6. Week 6, I might leave it, or if I'm feeling good, I might try to do it where I build up to like a heavy AMRAP set. Maybe I'd pick 90% and try to, I don't want to max out and do a 1 rep max. I hate building up to that because I never hit the numbers I want to. But whenever I do a rep max where I pick a weight, I end up burying it and getting like 93% for like 5, which is dope. So I want to do something like that, but I'll figure that out. Maybe I'll just run that again. But doing that, and then as far as cardio, I'm just doing 30-minute incline walks. So while I'm doing this, I'm going to talk more about this after the workout. My nutrition is, I am trying to cut a little bit. So I've been trying to cut for a little bit of time. Again, I'll talk about it more, so stay tuned. But because of that, I want to bring the cardio. If you know me, I like doing a lot of these interval runs, tempo runs, assault bikes, but they're very taxing and take away from the lifting. So my main focus is lifting. I'll be strong and freaking powerful when I'm in the gym. Incline walks, awesome, because they're very low intensity. They're not going to tax you. They're not going to require a ton of recovery. So I throw those in the afternoon. I get asked a lot about cardio. Cardio, I know a lot of people do fasted cardio in the morning and lift in the afternoon. That's perfect too. I always like doing cardio after because I want to put all my energy into the lift because that's the most important part for me. But I know some people like with their schedules makes sense to do cardio in the morning. Whatever works for you. The only thing I would say is if you have to do them together, don't do cardio and then go straight into the lift. If you're doing them together, lift and then go straight into cardio. I'll do that sometimes where I won't separate them as long as I'm doing the cardio after, but always lifting first because that's the most important thing. You want to put all your energy in that. So throwing that in like 4 days a week and then still sprinting. So that's one thing. I've always sprinted twice a week forever, but I'm just going to sprint once a week for these next couple weeks. I'm going to do it on a Sunday. I'm going to feel it out. I'll either do it on a Saturday and double up and then have Sunday as a complete rest, which is what I should ideally probably do. But I'm probably gonna just do it on Sunday on its own, which I kind of like the idea of that. Like, we'll see how it impacts recovery. Like, it is important to have 1 day off, but I feel like if I run sprints in the morning, it can be a fun Sunday tradition. So I'll play around with that, but it's definitely still sprinting. I love sprinting. I don't want to lose that. Like even going from 2 to 1 is kind of hard right now, but definitely I know it's for the greater good to really focus on strength and hypertrophy. And it's only gonna be for like 6 weeks. So still sprinting, of course, once a week. And then just some other stuff, you know, try to get at least 12,000 steps a day. Right now I'm eating around 2,800 calories because my maintenance is around 33. So it's a 500 calorie deficit, which is like a pound a week. My goal is to lose like 1 pound a week for the next 6 weeks. Nothing crazy, just kind of get back to where I want to be. And then at least 7.5 hours of sleep. Yeah, so that kind of covers it. Want to make this a shorter segment, and I'll more videos where I'll really dive into the split after I have like a week or 2 under my belt, because I know I'll get asked a lot of questions and I want to go more into it. But I'm really excited for this. This whole week I've kind of been like planning it out and like feeling out, and I just want to stick to the split for the next 6 weeks, no matter what. No matter if I'm like, oh, maybe I should be doing this and that. No. You're doing the split, just follow it, stick to the plan. So that's what we got. We're gonna get this pre-workout meal cooked up and we're going back to the gym, baby. Pre-workout, what we got? One of my favorite pre-workout meals. We got 2 of the Chobani's, cherry berry. I think they're starting to make these in tubs now. I saw the vanilla tub, but I have not seen a cherry berry tub. So hopefully I can stop buying the individual ones and get the tubs. Got that, and then I'm gonna put one of these Nature Valley bars in it, break it up, delicious, and then throw some honey on it. We'll see the end product. All right there, we got 2 of the yogurts, the Nature Valley, the honey, it's about 500 calories. Eat this, and then we'll be training the next 45 minutes. Here's a mess, but I'm excited to blast the legs again, so I'll see you back at the gym shortly. All right, so actually to add to the pre-workout meal, I was craving one of these, so I got one of these Rice Krispie treats from Whole Foods. 420 calories, 7 fat, 81 carb. So I'll talk about it again, as I mentioned, more about my diet later in this video, but also the pre-workout, a scoop and a quarter of the raspberry cream. This is cool because I didn't have pre-workout this morning. I just had an energy drink, so having that now, but having these extra carbs because I'm doing 2 leg days and I'm gonna eat maintenance calories today. So I'll explain that again later. Do more of like a refeed. So on these second leg day, eating maintenance calories to, you know, really fuel it. So it needs some more carbs, and this thing is so damn good. I'm so excited to eat this. So we eat this and then we'll get to the gym. Just like that, boys, we are back at the gym for a little hypertrophy session. So felt pretty good. I mean, I definitely like that rest in between because my legs weren't as cooked, and I know for a fact I was definitely getting more reps on the hack squat and all the other movements than if I would have just done it right after the deadlift. So happy I'm doing it. But anyway, start off with a hack squat here. 3 sets was the goal. I want to be in that 6 to 10 range, essentially going to like 0 reps in reserve. So I had 5 1/4 on each side. Felt pretty good. I will say with hack squats, like they always feel weird on my body. Like I need to just get the foot positioning down, or maybe I just need to do them more. That's why I'm doing them weekly, because some days I feel really good in my quads, some days I hurt my knee. So it's kind of just a footing position, but pretty decent today. I could probably get a little deeper, honestly, as I watch it, but got a great quad pump. And obviously hitting deadlifts earlier in the day is my main strength movement, kind of more obviously a posterior chain movement. So I want to come back and start with a quad movement and get my energy to that. So typically that's what I do a lot in leg days. I'll alternate doing a quad, then a hamstring, quad, then a hamstring. I just like doing it that way. It kind of gives you rest in between, so then you're stronger in each lift. Then went from that into my seated hamstring curl. Seated hamstring curls have been my favorite, probably hamstring movement. For some reason, I hate a laying hamstring curl. It just doesn't fit my body proportions, but a seated hamstring curl, I can really load it, get a good stretch, and I've been absolutely loving that. So 3 sets there. Again, go from that quad movement to that hamstring movement, and then absolute hell. So decided to add these back into the plan. Bulgarian split squats are awesome to do. I highly recommend hitting Bulgarian split squats, any variation, whether it's a dumbbell, barbell, safety squat bar, kettlebell, whatever it is, at least once a week, because they are such a good leg builder, and they suck for a reason because they're so good. This had me just destroyed me. Anyways, I only did 2 sets here, and I think that's the key. Is if I were to do 3 sets, I would have overthought, and I probably wouldn't have gotten as many reps as I did on the first 2 sets. So by only doing 2 sets, it's like, F it. You only have to do this 2 times, so go all out. So for example, this is actually 340 because the bar weighs 70 pounds. I end up getting 10 each leg. I elevate my front foot a little bit. That's just because the back thing's a little too high and I can't reach parallel. So this just allows me to get parallel. And I was really focusing on with that handles, trying to keep my chest up, stay nice and upright. And then obviously I'm using a little bit of assistance, but not trying to push too much with it. So really destroyed my quads, and also my glutes were sore as hell for about 3 days after it. So one of my favorite Bulgarian split squat variations, but it is psychologically super demanding. So I highly recommend if you're doing it, maybe just do 2 sets, because the thought of only having to do 2 sets was kind of like, it was kind of nice. Usually I always do 3 sets, and it's like, especially with single leg work, what I did is I did one leg and then I rested 30 seconds, then did the other. I've never done that before. Usually I just go one leg straight into the other, but I definitely noticed by resting in between, it was almost like I treated one leg as one set, and I might have stopped at 8-9 reps, but instead I got 10 reps because I'm like, you get rest in between. So that's gonna be a new thing I'm gonna do. I'm definitely gonna rest in between each leg because I definitely feel like I can get at least an extra rep, because it's like, just go hard and don't even think about the other leg, because that's the next set. So that's how I'm approaching single leg work. Essentially I did 2 sets, but it's kind of 4 sets with all the single legs. So hopefully it all makes sense. But highly recommend you doing that exercise. It freaking sucks, but if you have the setup, it is so good for your legs. So did that, and then just finished with some boring calf raises on the belt squat. I usually do them on the belt squat or on the leg press, because that's what you have at the gym. And I like doing higher rep, like 15 to 20 range. But that was hypertrophy work, just those 4 movements, but absolutely destroyed my legs. Good session. All right. So back to the iPhone. Finished that lift a little bit ago, and then I ended up, I was kind of in the gym for like an extra hour and a half because I was editing a reel video I made, and I kept messing up. Kind of downloaded my content, but going for a walk now. It's pretty late now. It's already 8, but getting the rest of my steps in. Trying to get at least 12,000 steps a day, almost at 11,000. So kind of just walk in circles and edit videos. So if you're ever looking to get steps in, you can just doom scroll and get steps in, or you can edit and do stuff on your phone. Obviously low hanging fruit. But anyways, want to talk about kind of my nutrition the last couple months and kind of what my goals are. So I've mentioned a lot on the channel of late, but something I've been struggling quite a bit with since the last 4 months has been binge eating quite badly. So I've kind of been tracking this binge eating for the past almost 2 years now, since February of 2024. I've been noticing happening, and probably from February 2024 until up until July of this summer, it was pretty normal. It's happening, every 3-4 weeks, which I'm sure is pretty normal for people, especially when you're kind of restrictive. You eat 1 cookie and that turns into 12 cookies and slice of pizza and this and that. But it happens here and there, so no harm, no foul. Now, that was all fine, but over the last about 4 months, and I've talked a lot in my last full days of eating, I've been binge eating like nobody's business. So I'll insert the chart, this Google sheet I have. So I have this Google sheet that every day I just put in my body weight. If I weigh myself, I don't weigh myself every day, but when I do, how many hours of sleep I got, how many calories I ate the day before, how many steps I got. Super simple. I mean, it looks like a lot, but I've done it over last year. And if you see that red square right there, every time there's a red square, that means I binge ate. So if you look at early of last year, I started tracking this back in October of last year. It was here and there, maybe once a month, maybe twice a month, nothing crazy. Now you look at it, I've binge ate 28 times in the last 4 months. So that's quite a bit. And now the thing that has scared me is, it used to happen, it would happen once, and then, it wouldn't happen for a while. It's turned into like 2 or 3 days at a time. So something I'm trying to work on is the binge eating. And I think one thing with binge eating is or anything, whenever you have something kind of going on with you, you think you're the only person who's ever experienced it. I'm sure there's the same for that, but obviously I know a lot of people suffer with binge eating, and I've been, getting help from some people. A nutritionist helped me, and then it's a common thing. It's not like anything's wrong with me or anything like that, but it's a common thing a lot of people go through. So that's why I want to share it on here, because I'm sure someone might be watching this and they might be like, man, I want to figure out this binge eating. So I'm just trying to get better at it. It's kind of been frustrating because it keeps happening, and I keep saying I've been bulking, but the real reason I've been bulking is because I've been binge eating. So it's like I'll eat maintenance calories or a slight deficit 6 days a week, and then 7th, 8th day I eat 8,000 calories. And I'm telling you, I can eat. I can put down food. So I'll binge eat. It'll be I'll have 1 bite of something and it'll just be a downfall, and it's gotten worse and worse. And it's weird because I know some people who don't understand it, you explain to them I want you to stop eating. It's well, my brain's in survival mode, and it's it gets that dopamine and just, it's this clicking sound, and my brain's more, and I just will eat until not even beyond full. I can't even walk, I'm so full. So yeah, so that's why I haven't made a lot of full days eating recently, because it's I eat normally, but then I have those binge meals, and it's kind of been super frustrating, because it's man, it's really messing up my nutrition. So that's why I've kind of been bulking. I'm up like 12 pounds in the last like 4 months. You know, I was 198 beginning of July. I'm like 210. And look, I know it's like 12 pounds isn't a ton. And maybe it's good for me. I've been kind of over the last couple of years pretty much cutting and kind of being, you know, in that like sub 10% body fat I was for quite some bit. So, you know, right now, mentally, I'm feeling a little fluffy. And I know it's dumb. Everyone has horrible body dysmorphia. Like, I am by no means... we're all so negative to ourselves. So my body dysmorphia is not great right now. But you know, you got to have those ebbs and flows. You got to bulk and you got to cut. It's just part of the process. So I'm starting to accept it a little more. But you know, I don't really have any like specific strategies to deal with binge eating. You know, I'm just trying to get better at it. I was prescribed this medication. My doctor, I actually was taking a medication last year and I stopped taking it because I was kind of messing up my sleep. It wasn't with binge eating, it was with something else. But she prescribed me something that hopefully can help with like kind of the urges of binge eating. Because that's kind of the thing. It's like, I know everyone binge eats, but it's like almost like I have this like, I'm like fight or flight. Like if I don't like it, it will like overtake me. It's like, and I don't know when it's going to come. So that's why like, it's been like weird. Because, you know, it's been happening, but, you know, as you saw that chart, it's happening way more frequently, and it's happening strings of days. So I get a lot of it has to do with I train a lot, you know, I'm restrictive, this and that. So kind of figured out those lifestyle things. That's kind of why I had that Rice Krispie treat today, because I ate that pre-workout meal, and I was still hungry. And usually I would just be restrictive, like, no, live to fight another day. And then 3 days later, that one Rice Krispie treat would turn into 4 muffins, 3 pieces of pizza, 2 Rice Krispie treats. So it's like, well, what if I just have this Rice Krispie treat that I'm craving now, fit into my macros, or maybe I have an extra 200 calories, because that's a lot better than being restrictive and then having an extra 5,000 calories. So I think taking in that weekly, that's how I track my calories, like weekly. So, okay, I want to be a pound a week. So if I want to lose a pound a week, that's 3,500 calories. That's 500 a day. You know, maybe one day I have 27, but maybe like today I'm gonna eat maintenance calories because I had that Rice Krispie treat on 33, you know? So now, you know, I might have a day where I have 27, 26, but the goal is to average around that 500. So I think kind of ebbing and flowing is kind of the best way for me. I'm not really good at just like eating the same thing every day. You know, I love food. So it's being, you know, at the end of the day, everything's about consistency. You can't be perfect. And I think that's another thing, like this may be a long tangent, but like perfection is horrible. Like that perfectionism mindset with fitness is horrible, whether that's your diet, whether that's with your training, being like, oh, well, if it's not perfect, then fuck it. I might as well throw it out the roof. And I am so guilty of that with food. I have a fucking cookie and that cookie turns into a million cookies and all that stuff because it's like, oh, my diet's already messed up. I might as well ruin it. So it's being better with that, not having that all or nothing cascade effect. I've always had that my whole life. So with a lot of stuff. So I think I've gotten better at the perfectionism mindset and realizing perfectionism is not good. It is, there's a quote I want to say. I'll try to find it. Maybe future me found that and put it there. I didn't want to butcher it, so I'd rather say that. But yeah, so that's kind of why I wanted to talk about a lot in this video, is I've been that binge eating. And yeah, so that's something I'm working on. And that's why my nutrition's kind of been weird. But what I'm showing today is a normal day of eating, is what I've been eating. So the goal right now, as I said, I've gotten up to 210. I want to get back down to my 198. 198 to 200, I feel the best and I look the best. It's kind of the best of both worlds, where I know I'm 10%, slightly lower than 10%, but I'm also still strong and everything. So just getting back to that body weight. But hey, there's no rush. It's not like I have an end date with it, but taking these next 6 weeks to just get back in my diet, you know, just be consistent with it and maybe lose a pound a week. I'm sure just through consistency, it's going to happen. So yeah, so wanted to share that if anyone else kind of struggles with it. And you know me, I don't have the answers now, but it's something I'll figure out and obviously share as we go along it. So I'll finish this walkout and I'm about to head to the grocery store. Please, someone in the comment, if you're still watching, call me an idiot. I'm about to go to the grocery store for the 5th time today. 5th time. So the brain, if you can't tell, the brain's just, it's not there. But we're going to go to the grocery store again and get some dinner because it's getting late.
Where's the beef? All right, so back from the grocery store, 5th time. But got some roasted sweet potato, about 5 ounces here, 8 ounces of 93.7 Bob FM lean ground beef. If you get that reference, you get that reference.
And then we got like 5 ounces of that butternut squash again. So wrap the day up here. This puts me at like 3,100 calories, about 81 fat, I think 374 carb, 215 protein. I'll put the exact macros. So as I talked about, kind of using this day to, my goal is 2,800 calories. But I had that craving for a Rice Krispie treat. I ended up filling in. I only want to win 200 calories. Because I know me, maybe I would have fought that, ate my 2,800 calories, did that again tomorrow and the next day. But then on Sunday or Monday or one of the upcoming days, I would have had 7,000 calories because that's been the current trend. So again, trying to find strategies to fight this binge eating and get better with it. So I think it's little things like that. It's not going to happen overnight. It slowly trickles in. So yeah, kind of a normal day of eating, I would say, as far as, 4 meals is typically what I always have. That breakfast I eat every single day. That pre-workout meal can change. Sometimes with that Rice Krispie treat, but usually yogurt or some fruit, trying to get carbs in. And then I try to have 2 like good solid meals with meats, salmon, ground beef, chicken. I always want to have some carb. Usually it's rice. I'm gonna try to eat more sweet potato because I know how good they are for you. And then I try to have a veggie on the side. I guess butternut squash is a veggie. I think it counts as a veggie. It probably definitely is, but you usually have a veggie on the side. So that's kind of it. I don't eat the same food every day. Again, I try to hit my calories, 2,800 calories, and try to be around my macros. 210 protein, 350 carb, about 60 to 65 fat. So, not trying to be perfect, but be consistent. And that's something I'm trying to learn and be better at because it's been frustrating kind of being out of sync with my nutrition. And, I know how much my nutrition impacts other stuff. So when I'm locked in with my nutrition, everything else is locked in. So I'm excited, but hey, I appreciate everyone who watches, who stuck around for this video because maybe it was long. We'll see in the editing, but let me know what you guys want to see more of. I love making these vlogs. I know most of my videos are just the full workouts. I try to make more of these full day eating vlogs or those whiteboard videos, but let me know exactly what you want to see. Like I love making content. As you can see, that's why I post so much. It's fun to me. It's, I'm such an honor to do it. So let me know what you guys want to see. I mean, more educational stuff, more full workouts, more full days eating. Should have a lot more fun videos coming in the next couple months as I'm gonna be traveling more, working out with other people, making that. So stay tuned for that. But as you know, a lot of stuff coming out. But obviously Black Friday is coming up. So Gymshark, D-Shan 10, save up to 60%. Rawls Black Friday sale will be the following week, be some big stuff to look out for, and then all of a sale on my training plan. So appreciate all you guys. Stack the damn days. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.